All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick's on the Power. So I want to do a video on the legendary bodybuilder Chris Cormier. So Chris Cormier is one of the few legendary bodybuilders that I have yet to do a video on. Obviously, he's a lot more noticeable today for being a personal trainer and training some of these pro bodybuilders. Obviously, he's out in Oxygen Gym in Kuwait, out there with the Camel crew, helping out with the training over there. So you'll see him in a lot of people's Instagram pictures. He's a prep coach. He trains people, and you'll often see him in the gym with his athletes on social media. But prior to that, he had a career spanning 3 decades, the 80s, the 90s, and all the way into the 2000s. So he started competing in 1987 at the NPC Teen Nationals light heavyweight division, which he won. And he competed all the way until 2007, where he competed at the IFBB Montreal Pro Classic. His average contest weight was between 245 and 255 pounds, or between 111 and 115 kilograms. His height was 5'10", or 177.5 centimeters. So obviously Chris is still alive today, and he is 50 years of age. So Chris Cormier turned pro in 1993 by winning the NPC USA Championships, the heavyweight division, and the overall. Then in 1994, he began his career with the IFBB, and he had a very, very successful rookie year with the IFBB, arguably one of the most successful of all time. So the Arnold Classic, obviously being the second biggest show in bodybuilding, his very first Arnold Classic ever, his first year as a pro, he placed 4th at the Arnold Classic. Then you had the Ironman Pro, which is arguably the 3rd or 4th biggest show in bodybuilding, where he placed 2nd at his very first ever Ironman. Then he qualified for the Olympia. He competed in the 1994 Mr. Olympia and placed top 6. He placed 6th place at his very first Olympia ever. And the 1994 Olympia was a very competitive lineup. He managed to beat Nasser El Sambadi and a young Ronnie Coleman at that show. So Chris Cormier would stand on the Olympia stage a total of 10 times. His best placings would be 1999 and 2002, where he placed 3rd place in both of those years, and his second best placing would be in 2001, where he placed 5th. And he had several placings within the top 10. In fact, I believe out of his 10 Olympia appearances, his only placing outside of the top 10 was in 2005, where he placed 13th. I believe every other placing, he was within the top 10 at the Olympia. It's also worthy of noting that he had a 4-year span where he won the Ironman Pro 4 times. And then he also won the Australian Grand Prix consecutively. And as I mentioned before, he stood on the Olympia stage 10 times. So overall, Chris Cormier had one of the most aesthetic and pleasing physiques of the 1990s and early 2000s. Arguably had some of the best aesthetics and lines to really ever come out of that era. But the problem, according to Dave Palumbo, Dave Palumbo has said this in several videos, that Chris Cormier definitely lived a party lifestyle, and that party lifestyle contributed to his lack of discipline and the amount of time that he actually dedicated to bodybuilding. And Dave has gone on record as saying that if Chris Cormier had dedicated more time and more of his energy into actually pursuing bodybuilding, he could have won the Mr. Olympia competition. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of Chris Cormier. What do you think of his physique? What do you think about what he's doing today? Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.